Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Exclusive, in the building here as we bring you episode 4 of Exclusive Minds, where an exclusive mind is a terrible thing to waste. Once again, everybody, I'm your man, Mr. Exclusive, and of course, with me today, I've got a beautiful panel of 3, but you know them as the Knights and a special guest, of course. First, we have to my left, the Heartbreak Prince himself. What's up, Heartbreak Prince? How you doing, brother?
Doing all right. I'm excited for this episode. I can't wait for the people to hear about Black history and wrestling, how they go together. It's going to be fun.
Yes. And below him, a knight like no other, Mr. Eric Knight. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Look, I'm excited. I'm hype about this. I can't believe we're doing something like this. Who would have thought? Finding my man from TikTok. Come on. Hey, look, you found some great ones. And I found a great one right here, man. I found somebody that's really he knows what he's doing, man. You want to talk about somebody that's made a top 500. Okay, pro wrestling. He's done a lot of great stuff here. I'm proud of him. I'm proud. Dedrian, how you doing, man? From City of Wrestling, man. How you doing? Oh, is he with us?
I am good. I am
Oh,
doing well,
there he
man.
is.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's funny. Yes. Okay. You know what? Give me a second. I may have to go with the Ethernet cable because I'm going on Wi-Fi. So if you guys could just put me in the guest room and I'll hook it back up and everything because I think you guys are. It's on my end that you guys are lagging and everything. So that way, I just want everything to be smooth and the conversation.
Hey, sound like a plan.
Give me a
sound
few
like
minutes
a plan.
and I will get this.
All right,
Okay.
so we'll have Dedrian back in just a little bit. But fellas, how's everything going? How's your Black History Month been? Let's start off with that. How's your Black History Month been so far?
Man, talk about some Black History Month. Honestly, so far, February, I think we've seen some good things coming from at least, I think in a lot of ways. Look, we seen Swerve. He just turned heel.
Hey man,
Okay.
hey, Swerve was
Swerve just
diabolical
turned
during
heel,
that match.
man. He was, man. Look, I think he's literally solidified himself as a major pillar in AEW at this point, man. I feel like he's been that, but yeah, man, I think he's been doing great stuff. Obviously, we've talked about Hollywood Trick, Two Brand Trick,
That's
First
Trick.
Class Trick, Trick and Nate.
Yeah.
Come on, Trick Willie. Come
Trick
on
Willie.
now. We done talked about him for plenty of time. I think he's been doing amazing. Look, he's in the chamber. Of course, another one, the man that gets bouncy, the young OG. Shout out to OG. Y'all doing your thing out there. Look, making Black being the youngest in the chamber, then you the youngest Black man being in the chamber. So look, that's a lot of history right there, man.
Just in there, just making history happen. What about you, HB Prince? How's your Black History Month been?
It's been good, man. A lot of things that you just talked about with all the different wrestlers that we're starting to see representing, the culture of Black wrestlers. When you talk about Obafemi, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and so on and so forth, Swerve Strickland, you're starting to see that be more prominent, within the wrestling ethos. It's great. I can't complain at all. Sad note, though, the other day I was having a conversation with my daughter about Black History Month in school. It's like, hey, are y'all covering anything? Because I'm seeing all the work coming home and your studies that are coming home. And she's like, no, we don't discuss Black history. I said, this is a crime right here. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, I have a strong belief that it's not up to other people to teach my daughter or my daughters,
Right.
About their history. That falls on me and their mom. And so, it's just something we have to take upon ourselves. So I was excited to hear about this when E first mentioned it about us having the opportunity to talk about, all the wrestlers from history that were Black that we're not unfamiliar with. And so I'm like, look, I'm excited to learn about this stuff and just hear some of the things that some of these wrestlers have gone through, and kind of where they laid the road for Black wrestling today.
Yeah, man. Dedrian, I was asking them, how's your Black History Month been so far? You know, just in general, how's your Black History Month been so far?
Oh, it has been one of the best, one of the most educational, one of the most humble Black History Months, and the most, how do I put this? The most aware and self-aware that I've been as far as Black History Month and everything. The Black wrestlers and everything from the past and everything. I always think of Black History Month and focus on Black History Month in November.
Mm.
So it's always fun for me.
That's all. That's awesome, man. It's crazy because like, you know, they always make fun. It's, oh, you get the shortest month of the year. It doesn't really matter to me. It's just always being able to get our history celebrated in some form. You know, HB Prince, you made a good point where things are slowly getting taken away from us. That our kids may not get the opportunity to, you know, have that opportunity to really embrace it on the outside part of wrestling anymore, which is kind of sad. But it is our responsibility to make sure that our children understand, you know, our history. And you know, it's no slight to anybody else, but I think sometimes it's very important for us to know, you know, our history. Did you know? Like we're so glad to have you, man. We got a lot of greatness to talk about. Can you tell us how you became such an astute visionary? You know, better than the vision that we have on television, but an astute visionary when it comes to, you know, learning about Black history and what got you into,
You're too
learning
kind, man.
Black history.
You're too
I'm just saying.
kind.
You know,
Did we lose him?
Did we lose him?
As
Oh
far as
no!
wrestlers,
Okay,
Oh no,
he's there. He's
Oh,
good.
there we go. There we go.
well,
Yeah, we back. We back.
again, like we mentioned earlier, Bobo Brazil. It's like, okay, wrestlers out there. After I launched City of Wrestling, and I was like, is anybody doing anything as far as like the old Black wrestlers or anything? Because everybody was like, it's like from 1984 on, well, those are the only Black wrestlers we know. And it's like, nah, this damn sport's over 100 years old. I think there's more Black wrestlers. So once I started digging up and everything and came across Virgo Small and Woody Strode and Jack Claiborne, Sandy Parker, Ethel Johnson, or was it Mary Horton, Ethel Johnson, and so many other wrestlers and everything. It's like, no, you know what? Let me start posting this. And I posted it not because, oh man, I'm going to get likes and views and this. I'm like, no, let me spark the conversation. Let me get the conversation rolling. Let me get people, man, I didn't know this. Then they start researching. Then they find something that maybe I didn't find. So now they tell their friends, and then their friends tell their friends. So you see what I'm saying? It's just a snowball. I'm just like, you know, let me get the conversation started. And here I just post, make it a habit. Like, I don't care if I'm tired or whatever. It's like, no, this has to be out here because these people need to be known. Their history needs to be known. And people need to learn this. And that there was Black wrestlers before 1984, before WWE went expanding and everything. So that was my motivation and everything behind it.
It's like, you know, we do exist. We were out there at some point. Like, come on. So and just like I said, much appreciated the work that you've done, man. It's amazing to see, and we're excited to be able to get a history lesson today from you. You know, so we got 7 that we're going to highlight on today's episode, and Dedrian, we'll let you to go ahead and get started with that, brother. And our first one on the board,
Jim Mitchell.
All right, let's see who we got here. Oh, Jim Mitchell. So this guy is known for, well, one particular event, which was in 1948 when he moved out west to the West Coast and came face to face with the greatest star of his age, Gorgeous George. The feud got so heated, they actually incited a riot at Olympic Auditorium in 1949. So I want you to think about that. 1949, they incite a riot, and here's the thing, and we know this historically. Black people weren't welcomed in a lot of places in 1949. So I want you to think of a black wrestler and there is a riot. Who do you think some of these fans, again, mind you, at this time, all the fans thought it was real. So, you got that. He broke in
Kayfabe, yeah. Kayfabe was
1930.
serious at that time.
Yeah. So you had that, Bucky Weaver, Danny McShane, Wild Red Berry. These are what's cool about studying like black wrestlers from back then is finding the wrestlers who they fought against and their names. Because you're like, this name was over back then? Like, huh? Like this is like a creator wrestler name or something like that, but it was an actual an actual name and everything. So, he traveled, from Europe, Australia to Canada to the United States. Again, this is golden age of wrestling. Gene Stanley, Antonio Roca, name you guys probably remember. Like I said, Danny McShay, Red Berry, Enrique Torres. And here's the cool thing. He was mentoring other African-American stars like Ricky Waldo and Bobo Brazil.
Brazil, there it is. That's as far as I mean, as honest with you as possible. That's as far as like my goats. When it comes that far, I'm like, there it is, right there. So when the first person that came to mind, it was Bobo Brazil. I mean, that's probably because WWE talked about him so much, like during this time frame, and I'm like, oh, okay, there you go. So that's my ignorance. I can definitely tell you right now, it's good to learn about Jim, man. That's a big deal.
And here's the thing, like the territory he broke in, which was Indianapolis and everything, he was the only African American. So think about that. 1949, he's the only African American, and that's probably one of the few territories that probably had black wrestlers wrestle white wrestlers. See, that was the thing back then. Black wrestlers only wrestled black wrestlers. They never wrestled white wrestlers.
Yeah, they ain't want them problems. But that's besides the
point. And you know what? It's interesting, Daryl, when you think about it, like now, we got black wrestlers wrestling in Japan, Europe, Mexico, that whole thing. And we'll get into Dory Dixon and everything. But think about that. Like the same things that like our ancestors went through as far as, drinking fountains, restaurants, businesses and everything. Black wrestlers had to go through. And I know a lot of people, younger fans like, huh? Like they can't contextualize, but no, that was a reality. Like what happened in the real world affected wrestlers in their world and everything. Because I was telling Eric one time I was watching a match with Gorgeous George and Jesse James from 1948. And I'm watching, it's black and white and everything. And the first thing came to my head was like, man, how far away did the black people sit? It's like, I know you didn't sit at ringside because I know there was a bunch of discrimination back then.
Nah, they
not sitting there. And that's the thing, Yeah. So it's one of those things that when you like his story and everything, like, wait a minute, this dude fought, Gorgeous George. Like Gorgeous George was, how do I put this in context? The Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan of his day, as far as popularity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he was top dog and everything. And I do recommend, if you haven't seen the movie Queen of the Ring, the Mildred Brooks story,
I haven't watched.
You'll find some other stuff
it's on my list.
There is like, oh shit, this was really it. Yes, man. When you watch it, you'll be like, yo, wrestling has been a historically grimy business. It's just grimy. Like, I'm sorry. After watching, I'm like, you know what? I know drug dealers and pimps that are more honorable than the damn wrestling business.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. I'm like, yo, this is crazy, but
Yeah.
it's like, yo, but yeah, man, Jim Mitchell, man, one of the guys that nobody talks about. Like, oh, why is he so important? It's like, it ain't about, maybe it presented in the last few years as far as over the overhype and the sensationalism of black wrestlers and everything. Like, oh no, this whole thing is like, no, like, you treat us like we're just objects and everything, and we're just your cash cow and everything. But like, no, there's a character, there's a soul, there's a history to it and everything. And hey, shout out to Jim Mitchell, man. Thank you for what you've contributed to the wrestling industry, because training Bobo Brazil, now Bobo Brazil, who he trains, that comes back to Jim Mitchell and everything. So just paying it forward and everything. And the cool thing about these wrestlers, if you notice, like, they were some pretty big dudes. These weren't some chump, maybe Virgo Small, but I mean, he was pretty, lean and everything. But these dudes were like, yo, these dudes can handle themselves. But yeah, man, this was real interesting. The thing in the late 40s, early 50s, this dude's traveling, Europe, Australia, Canada, black men doing this in professional wrestling. Amongst everything that's happening in the United States at that time, he's traveling in the world of professional wrestling.
That's a big deal.
Well, and we talk about, so we talk about him like breaking into professional wrestling. Like, do you kind of know a little bit more about like his training background, like, where he really started, and then like who was the promoter that gave him the opportunity to, be in a circle to where he could battle or wrestle a Gorgeous George, and let alone start to travel around the world doing these wrestling events at a time like that in 1948. Because I'm assuming that prior to
okay, so in
Mitchell,
1930 when he broke in,
yeah, because I'm assuming that prior to Mitchell, because you said that before they weren't allowed to wrestle white wrestlers, that there had to be some type of environment for these wrestlers to kind of gain the knowledge of wrestling, show business, and that type of thing. Does it kind of give a history of like where he learned those skills, and kind of, like I said, who was the promoter that saw this and said, hey, we're going to take a Jim Mitchell and put him in this position here?
yeah. So when he broke in, the promoter that broke him in and everything was Jimmy maybe mid 50s, late 50s, 60s. That's where you had this conflict of the Good Old Boys Club and the club that weren't necessarily like, hey, we want to be inclusive, but more so we see green. And what I mean by green is, if you're black, white, Hispanic, they see green. If you make money, you good. If you don't make money, they'll call you the N word, the S word for Hispanics and everything. So that's where it lies in. And mind you, at this time, we also got to remember, in the 40s and 50s, at this time, you had the NWA territory, which you had territories throughout the country. You had territories in Mexico, Japan, you in Europe, individual promoters that were in conflict and everything. Going back to like what I mentioned about Mildred Burke and everything, there was promoters that didn't want her women wrestling on their card. There was other promoters that did. There was promoters that wanted white women only wrestling. There was promoters that wanted white women and black women wrestling because they want the black out and everything, because they had the dollar and everything. They just had this conflict throughout the whole country, and whatever region it was. Like here in Chicago, I know you'd have one promoter that didn't want black wrestlers, but then you had another promoter that did. So the promoter that did is like, oh, you don't want him here? Oh, I'll go over there. And what would happen, the promoter that promoted everything, so then the other promoter that did is like, oh, man, I got to promote the black wrestlers, because if I promote them, I ain't going to make it. So you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just that real conundrum thing. That was, if you look at it outside of the wrestling sense, look what happened in the entertainment sense during that time. You know, the Ed Sullivan Show, with the Jackson 5 and everything, Stevie Wonder and everything. You know, they sing in front of the white crowd, like, but then they would get the highest ratings and everything. Come on back. It's like, oh, okay. So, well, what the hell? Oh, perfect promoter. It's not unsure, and that's the other unfortunate thing about when you study these black wrestlers and everything. The history is so, like, you gotta like search, like, it ain't even in Encyclopedia Britannica. None of, like, you have to search and like go after books and memoirs and everything, because it's sad, because it's like, it's almost like you have a picture, but then it's like very little information to get behind these wrestlers. So it's unfortunate.
And it's crazy.
Hopefully that answers your question. The bet.
Yeah.
And everything.
We're good.
So we got our next one.
What a
Sweet
name.
Daddy Siki. Look, I'm gonna tell you what right now. That robe, top notch. I don't care anybody says that thing
It was
looks
Gorgeous George-esque.
All right.
Dedrian, can you hear us?
I don't know if he can hear us or
Yes,
not.
I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
Okay.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. There we go. Yeah, I was like, yeah, because I heard a little click. So yeah, Sweet Daddy Siki. The cool thing about this is he was actually the trainer for Edge and Christian.
Really?
Wow.
If you guys didn't know that.
I had no clue. That's
Yes,
that's
he was the trainer for
that's a
Edge and
pretty good
Christian.
one.
That's why when he passed away, and so he he, like, they're the main two that like really stood out from like the people that he trained and everything. But I mean, again, he was born in 1933 in Texas. So again, going back, and I know most people who watch this like, man, why you keep going back to like what was happening at that time and everything? Understand and contextualize what these wrestlers were living through in order to accomplish and make the impact that they made. You know, the cool thing about this guy was in the Army, 2nd Division Infantry. So you have that. He served in Korea. After he met was it Zobo? Met Zobo. And what's it, Zobo? No, Sanders Zobos. There you go. In Los Angeles. And that's how he got the training and everything. He originally started out as a face, but because he was working with Buddy Rogers for so long, and mind you, that's Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, who eventually lost the Nature Boy, you know, moniker to Ric Flair. So you see how everything kind of connects and everything. So as he was working with Buddy Rogers, like, okay, you know what? There's not a lot of black heel wrestlers. Let me be the first. And man, why you do that? It just took off and everything, man. So I mean, this is a really cool thing. Stu Hart said, and this is actually really really cool. He said that he was Gorgeous George, but black. So I want you to think about that. We were talking about Gorgeous George and how he was like. If you go back and study his gimmick, like it was almost like a combination. If you guys remember Adrian Adonis, which that's who Adrian Adonis adopted a lot of his stuff from, but he was kind of like Ric Flair, very flamboyant, and arrogant, pompous, and everything. I know one of his habits that Gorgeous George would do was he would actually have like this fragrance that he would spray it in the ring, and he would just like wave his hand because the ring stunk and the fan stunk, and this is like crazy. Like,
bro, that's crazy.
What the hell, mind you? Like, what the hell? He sprays it, and you know the fans boo and stuff like that. So that was his moniker. So it's like, damn, Isiki took that, and I was like, it's like, okay, this is really cool. So, to get that, and everything that he did as far as working with Nature Boy Buddy Rogers and taking elements from his character and applying, and to think now it's like, damn, you know what? We haven't really had a Sweet Daddy Siki character in pro wrestling since him. We haven't.
No,
like most
no.
wrestlers, I think, was it Orlando Jordan tried to do like a Goldust gimmick in
Yeah.
TNA, but it was like,
Maybe Velveteen Dream. Just a maybe a hint of it.
Just
Yeah,
a
maybe
touch.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not the full blown, but just a little bit.
yeah. But yeah, but it's like you got to go back to the original. Go back to Sweet Daddy Siki. Go watch his matches. Go watch how he moved, how he talked, how he presented himself. It's like, no, go back. Go to the first minute. Go back to that. Then apply it now. But I always liked, whenever I came across like pictures of him, I was like, man, what the hell is a black blonde hair? Like that. I don't remember any black celebrities that had like blonde hair. And I think that's if you really think about it, Ali
Just
didn't
Cisco.
have it. Yeah, 2000,
Just Cisco.
Oh, Robin in the 90s.
Cisco.
Yeah. So I mean, you think about it. Going back then, like, these are notable, black athletes at that time. So it's like, man, okay. And the cool thing is that because a lot of the towns he was in was segregated and everything, and he could only wrestle and go to places where only blacks could go, he would run into an Ali, a lot of the athletes. So they would mingle amongst each other. So it's like, it was a brotherhood, literally. Because it's like, hey, we can't go nowhere. So, they're looking out for each other and everything. And he said something that was really interesting. He's like, he faced a lot of racism in the States. And when he moved to Toronto, he didn't face. Okay. So, I mean, his story and everything. And it's funny, you guys didn't know that he trained Edge and Christian. Out of all people to think of,
Yeah, that's
he
crazy.
trained
I wouldn't
them.
have seen that.
Like, it's like, huh?
At least know where they got their charisma from.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, huh? Like, how damn dare you, like, has a little bit of elements. Exactly. So it's like, okay, the rated R superstar got a little bit of Sweet Daddy Siki, Christian Cage.
A little bit of Sweet Daddy Siki.
Yeah, we gotta watch out
Like,
for that.
So it's cool looking at it now. Like even Jim Mitchell over here, like how a lot of these black wrestlers really, work with the younger talent, just their impact and everything.
That's crazy. And see, that's the thing. We really don't know about it. And see, that's what I think I love about this episode is because you get kind of dig like the Edge and Christian thing. That's amazing to me. That's absolutely amazing. Our next wrestler that we wanted to talk about, Virgo Small.
Virgo Small.
Yeah.
Virgos.
Yeah.
Be small, baby. Virgo Small.
Virgo Small. There
Oh
we
man,
go.
Virgo Small.
Oh man.
Virgo Small. And you know what? This is looking up black wrestlers and everything, because I was like, just a random question. Who was the first black wrestler? Like, we've all asked that question. Like, who was the first? Like, who broke into the industry and everything? And again, he's regarded as the Bashan period of pro wrestling in the late 1800s and everything. So, I mean, it's, man, this is so cool. Like, his name, and he was born in slavery. I want you to think about that. 1854. Born in slavery.
Man. They gave my man nickname Black Sam. That's crazy work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Black Sam is crazy.
Diabolical.
So Now, here's the cool thing about this. With him starting so early, you guys probably remember like the whole like how wrestling started, like just the bare knuckle brawl and everything, and then it transitioned to, you know, the carnivals and everything. So he was a part of like the bare knuckle, that whole thing, like the elbow collar style and everything. What's crazy is that he was born in South Carolina, and if you know the history of South Carolina and what Black Americans went through, it's crazy. You know, he moved to Vermont. Then he started getting noticed by promoters and everything. And the rest is history, man. This guy, you know, he wrestled in New England, New York City. You know, here's the cool thing. You guys probably he wrestled in saloons and clubs. Again,
Saloons.
Wow.
Yes, saloons.
Come on.
I mean, I guess where else were you gonna go? You know.
Exactly, saloons. You know, that in itself is kind of like funny. It's like, damn, saloons. Like you think of like, when I think of saloons, I think of what is it, Young Guns with this guy, Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez, like saloon and everything. But I mean, this is one of those guys that he's one of the founding father. I shouldn't say. Well, you could say founding fathers of just black wrestlers getting in the sport and everything.
Hey,
And,
somebody had to be number
you know,
one. So
most people don't. Yeah. And you know what? Looking at his picture, he looked like he didn't take no crap and everything. Like, you look at him, like he looked like he's scuffled. He had some scuffles outside the ring.
This is the first young G out there. There's not the
everything.
OG. This
And
is
he
the
looked-
young G right here.
I mean,
Look
he's
at my
got
man.
a decent physique and everything.
Yeah, you can tell. Like, first of all, we got, man. Somebody need to go and make him on 2K. I want
No,
to see
for
somebody
real?
do it the right. Somebody need to do it the right way.
I'm telling you,
Let-
that
let-
boy-
You know what?
He ain't small.
and let
He's
my man become
Virgo
champ.
small.
Virgo small, baby. Come on.
Oh man, we out here looking like the Vision tonight. I don't know, we dropping left and right for a second.
I know, right?
Listen, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be good. Let's talk about that next one, man, because I know we talked about a few, man. Let's talk about her. Let's talk about this one right here, man.
Oh my goodness, she
Sandy.
looks like somebody I
Sandy
know.
Parker, man.
Sandy
Parker.
man. You might also
Say-
know Miss Parker. Jada Parker.
Yo.
No,
This is crazy.
this is crazy, man. Yeah.
She looks like somebody, and it's bothering me. And it's not going to click until after the show, but it's a
She-
celebrity, and
Let me pull
it's
up her-
bothering me. Oh my goodness!
She ended Mayoki. Oh man, we're good.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're good.
Okay, all right. So yeah, on May 15th, 1973, she ended Mayoki Hoshino's, I hope I pronounced that right, 293-day reign as the WWWA World Champion, making her the first black woman and openly LGBTQIA major women's world championship. The cool thing about this is that when we think of, like, for instance, Mercedes Moné going to Japan and things like, oh man, you know, again, most people assume, oh, she's probably like the first black woman. It was like, no. Sandy Parker and a few other black women were the first to go, you know, overseas and everything. So, I mean, like, a lot of people don't talk about it and everything, like, especially now with the resurgence of, you know, women's wrestling and everything, because you got Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Naomi, Athena. I'm trying to think of who else. Mercedes,
Lash Legend,
Queen
Yeah.
Amanada,
Come on. Hey,
Last
Queen
Legend.
Amanada. Yeah.
Jada Parker and
Lonnie.
everything.
Lonnie,
Yeah, so
man.
So now when you you know, look at it, it's like, oh man, okay. Now the interesting thing about Sandy Parker during the time that she wrestled and everything, Fabulous Moolah held an iron fist monopoly on North American women's wrestling. I was mentioning this earlier. And Mildred Burke was, a lot of women were, unfortunately, a part of that, where there's women wrestlers that, man, they would have been probably as big as Boba Brazil, Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes. The list goes on and on, but because Fabulous Moolah had a stronghold on it, she nixed everything. And it's because of Moolah having the monopoly that she had on women wrestlers that Sandy Parker went to Japan. And what's real interesting is there's another story that's out there, that because Sandy Parker was, of the LGBTQ IA community and everything, Fabulous Moolah would suggest to women to sleep with the wrestlers to get their opportunities. That's one of the reasons why they stopped the Fabulous Moolah tournament, if you remember that, in WWE, because all that came out and everything. And there was one story I came across that she suggested Sandy Parker go through with it, and Sandy Parker no, I'm gay. And Fabulous Moolah's response was, who cares? It won't matter to you. That's how she was. So it's just damn, what the hell's going on here? Man, so, shout out to Sandy Parker and all the other women wrestlers that stood their ground, that should have been bigger, but they weren't because of Fabulous Gula. That's what you should call it. Fabulous Gula.
Hey, yo, she was riding Mae Young coattails anyway, because Mae Young, I ain't gonna let Mae Young my girl. Hopefully Mae Young wasn't involved in that neither. I never heard her name in there. Mae Young was my girl. And she gave birth to him, but that's about to say No, I mean, this though.
We got.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you this. I mean, or at least add this part of it. A lot of people know, and now there is a cultural thing, especially if she had to go over to Japan to wrestle at that time, and it's already contentious for Black people to go to Japan now. I've heard a lot of stories about how Black people are looked upon in Japan, and that's now, where we're a little bit further along, not too much further along, but we're further along. Could you imagine what it would have been like back then to wrestle in Japan and be a Black woman and then win the championship? They probably had to hide her to get out the building. There's no way. there would be no way. I mean, I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah, I already know that was crazy.
And I mean, that shows you. Yeah, and that shows you just how far she just now that opens the door. Damn, we are aware of Stardom and Joshi Wrestling. So now it's wait a minute, she wrestled Japanese wrestlers. Okay, how's the Japanese wrestlers over there? So that's one of the beautiful things about studying these, cans. And it's you just start opening up. Oh, wait a minute. Let me look at this. Let me look at this. Let me look at that. And, to think she couldn't, it's weird. She had to capture a Japanese title before she captured a title in the States. Think about that.
Yeah. And it's like I said, it's tough over there too. So for them to even allow her to win that title over there, is insane to me. That's insane to me, because I couldn't imagine. Like I said, it's tough over here, really tough over here, and it's just as bad over there. At least they still gave it an opportunity. I mean, I don't know. Did they say how long her title reign was? Was it a pretty solid? Was it?
He said 293 days.
293 days was the title reign.
Cool fact. Yeah, 293 days. So again, at that time, you got to remember,
that's a title reign right there.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a title. That's how you. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know how to do those nowadays.
So 1973.
Yeah, Sandy. Yeah, Sandy. Do the
yeah. So to contextualize it, so 293 days, and of course, when people think about you think of it a WWE mindset like, oh, there's Raw, SmackDown, everything. No. It wasn't weekly TV. So you had to go to the arena, you have to promote it and everything. So I would say a 293-day title reign would be equivalent now. Man, I would say that would be like almost a year and a half title reign.
That's impressive.
As far as how they stretch things out and everything, as far as title reign and everything. But here's the thing: ever since or when she won that title, it wasn't until 20 years. 20 years. It would take 20 years for the United States to catch up.
20 years is a long
from that title.
time. That's a long time. Always behind, man. What is wrong with us? Why are we always behind? This is crazy work. I don't get it.
It's crazy, man.
I don't get it. Now, our next one.
And if you do 1971. You know what? Hey. Go ahead. No, what I was gonna say was.
No, what I was saying was, so we're doing our next. I didn't want you to finish. Yeah, go ahead and finish
Sandy Parker
what
and
you were saying.
Huh? Oh, so I know. You know what? It's live. It was supposed to happen this way. Just we'll run with it. So in it's the internet, and we got people tinking around with it. So it ain't our thing. So if you put it in context, 1973. So 20 years is 1993. And if you know anything, WB pretty much phased out women wrestling. Was it the Crockett's phased it out? The only thing you had for a brief period was Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Yeah. Yep.
Which used to air on Saturday nights. Mind you, during a time when you had Madonna, let's see, what famous actress you had? I'm trying to think of the 80s and everything. Like you had all these women actresses and singers and everything that were just mega stars, but nothing in wrestling. Capitalize on Madonna's popularity, Janet Jackson, trying to think of who
Houston.
else.
Yeah, what?
And you could throw Cindy Crawford in there. And I forgot other supermodels and everything. Yeah, when you think about culture, and there's no women in wrestling. That's crazy. That's something, man. That's something.
That's crazy. I mean, it took women's wrestling probably didn't get popular again or started to get popular until Medusa threw the belt in the trash can. And then after that, it slowly got, I think they didn't start focusing, and it really focused until 97, 98. So, and we know how long it took before they gave Jackie the belt. That's a whole nother dream, but
because for a while, if I remember correctly, I don't think WWE was even doing women's wrestling. I could be wrong. Women's wrestling, from my memory, was only like really, I'll say, I don't want to say shown, but was really done on WCW. That's where I met like Medusa, Jackie, and all of them. I don't remember too many in WWE at that time during that 97, 98, 96, 97, 98 time frame.
Yeah, it started coming back.
They were more managers.
Later.
Yeah.
They didn't come back till later in the fold. I mean, Medusa was on WWE before she came drop the title in there. It was just her and Bull Nakano. I feel like it was just them two every week fighting.
Well,
I didn't see anybody else.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, let's go ahead and talk about that next one, man. I know we was getting ready to talk about it, man. Come on, Dory Dixon. Loki, I ain't gonna lie, kind of looks a little bit like Sidney Poitier.
Hey, yo, that's crazy.
Yes.
Not Sydney. Looking a little bit like Sydney.
Sidney Poitier, man. I remember
now,
you
the
one
cool
day.
Thing about this guy. The cool thing about give me one second. darn it. The cool thing that wrestled in let me get this right. I'm gonna try to pronounce it. My Spanish is freaking terrible. Empresa Mexicana de Lucha Libre.
That's
which
better
is
than what I would have done.
So EMLL, which in 1991, after succeeding from the NWA, EMLL rebranded as Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre, which is now CMLL.
Yeah, that's AEW's
So,
main
of course, you
Mexican
guys,
partner, right?
Mhm.
yes,
Like,
and it is right now the oldest wrestling promotion. Right now at 92, no, 93 years.
wow.
Yeah, 93 years. So, I mean, he's one of the first and everything. And here's the cool thing. When he became a professional wrestler, he was sent to Arena Mexico. Yes, the same Arena Mexico you see AEW wrestlers in. That's where he was sent to. And he was trained under Rafael Salmanquena. And the owner at the time, what was it? Salvador La Ruth. He was kind of like I don't want to use the Vince McMahon thing, but he was like the George Steinbrenner. There you go. And he's called the Godfather of Lucha Libre. There you go. So I mean, his story, man. Dory Dixon is freaking amazing. He was in the Olympics, or the Caribbean Games and everything. And he was, weightlifting and everything. Went to Mexico, liked it, stayed, got into wrestling. There is a cool story about his wife, or how he met his wife. Like, he met her while he was training in Mexico. Of course, then he traveled and everything. He was up with the McMahons and everything. And then she was going to New York to look for a wedding dress, and she saw his picture on the flyer. So she went there, and this was like a little bit after he got divorced from his first wife, and they reconnected. She broke off the marriage with her fiance and married him, and they've been happily married ever since.
Hey, that's
which is
crazy.
the wildest story, man. But I mean, he teamed with Bobo Brazil and Pedro Morales. He wrestled in Madison Square Garden and everything in 1962, and he was one of the first challenges when Buddy Rogers, when the WWF broke away from the NWA, or the NWA Championship. They created WWF created their own championship. He was one of the first challenges for Buddy Rogers in that title, and unfortunately, he couldn't get his comeuppance and get the belt because during their whole feud, Buddy Rogers really got sick and had to forfeit the title. And at that time, there is a even more popular wrestler than Dory Dixon called Bruno Sammartino. So at that time, booking wise, you couldn't have two baby faces go against each other. So they gave it to the more popular baby face in Bruno Sammartino. So if Buddy Rogers didn't get sick, maybe Dory Dixon has the run that Bruno Sammartino had.
Now,
Wow.
I would say this: if that would have ended up being the case, which I would be blown away if they would have let that happen back then, that would be wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy? It'd be cool though. It'd be cool.
Really would.
Yeah, it would be so cool. And to think Bruno ended up losing to Ivan Koloff, then got the belt back, then he feuded with superstar Billy Graham, who then lost to Bob Backlund, who then lost to the Iron Sheik, who then lost to Hulk Hogan. How much does that whole lineage change if Buddy Rogers doesn't get sick and doesn't have bad health or anything? How does that lineage change with Dory Dixon? That's a really interesting thing to think about.
It would have been a complete game changer. It could have been a complete game changer if they would have allowed that to happen.
And what's cool is we've been on TikTok lives and everything, talk about the history of WWE. That's an important part of wrestling history that doesn't get talked about a lot. That Dory Dixon probably would have been in Bruno's spot. if Buddy Rogers doesn't get, injured or anything like that, and ill and everything. So it's so damn fascinating, man. It is so fascinating. And the other thing is he actually wrestled for Fritz von Erich. And if you know who Fritz von Erich is, that is the father of the legendary Von Erich family.
The Von Erichs, yeah.
And everything. Mm-hmm. So his story is really intriguing. And mind you, he was a Jamaican. So he, coming from, British Jamaica and everything. And, it's fascinating, man. It's really fascinating reading his story. Is like, damn, so there was a black wrestler in CMLL before it was CMLL.
And that's crazy. That's crazy. But it just lets you know how important our history has been throughout this time frame. And so it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. The next one we have on the list is Jack Claiborne.
Oh man. Oh, this is the one we were talking about before we went live. Like, yeah, this is the one we're probably gonna spend a little bit more time on, because Jack Claiborne was subject to the same segregation tactics as his peers and often regulated to wrestling for Negro championships. Let me repeat that again. Negro championships. In fact, Claiborne won the Kentucky Negro Championship from Halle Samara on September 2nd, 1941 in Louisville. Man. Yeah, this one, his story is one that's like, you start right away, Negro champions, like, whoa. Wait a minute. They had Negro championships where only Negro, wait a minute, huh? Wait, whoa. What? But that's how it was back then. 1941, you got to remember, this is before Jim Crow. Or the civil rights. You got Jim Crow. You got whites only restaurants, stores, that whole thing. You got sundown towns, that whole thing. So he's wrestling in the midst of that and becoming the champion. One of the cool things is in 1954, he won the Canadian Open tag team titles from Great Togo and Togo. And outside of him competing for the Negro championships and everything, but to have that connection to where he's wrestling for Negro championships, and then as he's in like the 50s, that's when you started seeing a lot of the just the main, like, how to put it, Gorgeous George and those. Was it the Munsters? No, it wasn't the Munsters. I think it was the Munsters. One of the famous wrestlers, I can't remember off the top, was on the show and everything. And you started seeing them appear more and more as TVs became more prevalent in households and everything. And, quick note, Jack Claiborne, he wrestled, was it Ed Strangler Lewis, Sando Sobo, Yvonne Robert, and Whipper Billy Watson. And these were big names back then. So, this is a real interesting backstory, man. But that, wrestling for Negro champions, like, man, what the hell? And the other thing is, he was popular in England, Canada, Australia, Hawaii, and in the States. So again, we got another. I think this is 3 world in the midst of everything that's going on in the States at that time, which is, very impressive that, they were able to accomplish so much and impact so much while all this crazy stuff is going on.
Yeah, and that's cool. It's so funny because he reminds me. I know you said something about him being. You said he did. Did he do any movies? You said he did movies and or TV show, or am I hearing wrong? Because he does look like somebody I've seen.
No, well, the wrestler. Togo Josh, who was Harold Scotta, who played Oddjob in the James Bond movie Goldfinger. So this is where like the 50s time period is when you start getting this crossover. Like this is like the beginning of the crossover of wrestlers going into Hollywood and everything. Whereas just before the TV was, invented and of course came into households and everything, wrestling was broadcast on radio. So people would listen to wrestling matches on the radio. And it's like, man, huh? What?
Well, you got to be
So
a hell of
again,
a commentator.
as the TV became prevalent and you had those 1 hour shows and everything for also at this time. Yeah, all wrestling was real. They didn't know it how we know it now. So they were like larger than life characters and everything.
Yeah, and that's what makes it, just so special, man. I'm excited because I feel like it's such a deep dive into history. For them to have a Negro championship. I mean, I don't know if that's the equivalent to like, I guess, the European championship, or if you think about it, it's like, oh, well, when did they had? But it's so weird because I don't think I've ever heard of a racial, like a racial version of a championship. You know what I'm saying? A race championship.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they've ever said, well, like they got the Mexican championship, and I'm like, I don't remember ever hearing that.
Yeah.
All right, and so our next and the last person that we wanted to talk about, Woody, and I could be saying the last name wrong. I think it's Woody Strode.
But not
Tell
out
us a
of
little
like
bit about Woody Strode.
Mm-hmm. Woody Strode. Yes, Woody Strode. The cool thing about him was he was one of the actually the first black professional wrestler to come from a great college when wrestling. So he was before The Rock and Ron Simmons. So he was the original. And what's cool about this is that in 1946, him alongside his teammate Kenny Washington, they broke the color barrier in the NFL. So you have this crossover, like, okay, this is the first, superstar college player to go into professional wrestling. But at the same time, in the NFL. So I mean, they're man, this is again an unsung hero. And unfortunately, in this day and age, most people just think, oh, it was The Rock and Ron Simmons. Like, no, you had, Woody Strode and everything. He was black and Native American. And what's cool about this, he really was strong about his heritage and everything and his roots. His great grandfather escaped slavery in the South. He married a woman from the Blackfoot tribe, and due to his athletic build, Strode would play a role in African American warrior or Native American tribesman in many of his Hollywood ventures. He was in a lot of films: The Ten Commandments, The Cotton Club, The Posse. He was in a blaxploitation film, and a few of them. Here's the thing: he played the lead role in 1971's Black Jesus. So if you guys remember that movie, he played that. He wrestled the likes of Gorgeous George. He teamed up with Bobo Brazil, another one, and Bearcat Wright. And in his prime, this picture does him no justice because there's another picture I had, but it didn't fit. He was 6'4" and over 200 pounds. 6'4", 200 pounds.
That's a big boy. And it's crazy because looking at this picture, and I'm looking at him, and first of all, I ain't trying to be funny. He looks scary. Like I feel like if they said, Darrell, you got to get in the ring with this guy, you're in trouble. I mean, his size. I mean, look, his body, especially for back then, because you look at the bodies that we see nowadays and the wrestlers and what their physiques look like nowadays. It's such a complete. But for him back then in the 40s, I mean, this is impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is we got to remember, like, a lot of these wrestlers we're discussing, the male wrestlers and everything, they ain't taking steroids. Like, this is straight up strength. Like, this is, muscle and everything. So they're
the ruler before the ruler.
they're solid and everything. And that's why, hey, when you go back and
Okay, I think he's there still with us.
You see there, brother? I think it broke up a little bit. Still there? Okay. Cool. Well,
yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, you still there? Okay, cool.
I'm still here.
We broke up a little bit. But so look, out of these seven great people that you've been able to break down for us, is there one that's like special to you? Like there's like that you've learned, that you just like they truly just have piqued your interest over the time frame that you started studying Black history for the wrestlers?
I gotta say, man, you got me in a pickle, Daryl. It's hard to pick one. I got my interest in everything because first one. Yeah, he was the first one in everything. So yeah, I got to say Virgo Small. Out of all of them, is Virgo Small.
Hey,
the original OG, the original baby,
the one that's small, baby.
Hey,
Virgo Small.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
And,
That's awesome.
and you know what? Like, I had another, like, the source that I got my original information from with Virgo Small. It never, like, it was crazy. It never mentioned that he was born in slavery. And I was like, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute. You did? Oh, okay. And that's when I really got it. I was like, no, there's more things we need to know about this. Like, I think nowadays with wrestling and just contextualizing wrestlers, like a lot of the wrestlers, like, how to say it, like you're talking about slavery, Negro championships, sundown towns, having to move to another country to, get acceptance and everything. Like, think about it. What wrestler in today's landscape has to move to another country because they're facing racism?
No,
Exactly.
I don't think that's happened. The good thing that's not happening now. I mean, I couldn't even imagine having to go and deal through that in this time frame.
Like, think about it. Like, when you contextualize, like,
I feel that. I had that same face expressions. No.
Eric is a trip. Well, let me ask you this, fellas. And before we get off, I wanted to hear from each one of you. I wanted to hear your, like, obviously we're here towards the end of Black History Month, and it's been, we're about to head into March. And,
there?
We're in WrestleMania season.
Oh,
all
there
that
you
good
go.
Stuff. There we go. We're in the WrestleMania season, all that stuff. So before we go, I just wanted to hear your, just to go around the room. Yeah, I want to hear everybody's like favorite Black wrestler of all time, and then your current favorite Black wrestler. So, Elwin, I'm gonna start with you first.
Oh, I'm the worst one to start with.
Okay, Eric, we're gonna start with you first. If we can give you a favorite Black wrestler,
that's gonna be tough.
Time, and give you a favorite current wrestler. Now, I'll throw women's wrestler in there too, so let's do three.
Okay,
Women's wrestler,
Okay.
women's wrestler. You can do so black women's wrestler all time, women's wrestler all time, and then new school. Like who's the one that you're most excited about now? Let's do it that way.
Okay.
All
All
right, Eric.
right.
Let's see what you got.
All right.
I can't. I
So
mean, okay.
no, go.
I was. I
No, you
can't
got-
go for it. My problem is I got like two. It's like I got two for each one, and it's it's
Yeah.
tough. So it's like, oh, when you pick the favorite, it's like, oh
yeah,
my
you
god.
got to go with the
Yeah.
favorite, man. I want to hear the favorite. What you got?
See, it's like because it's like it always used to be The Rock for me, right? That used to be
Yeah.
like my all-time favorite, but then I'd be like, yo, The Rock.
You want me to
don't
go
be- He don't be acting like
first?
you know what, Dedrian? Yeah.
You
You know
do.
what?
You go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you go
go
ahead.
Give these two time to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was it again? Because it was kind of
So
glitching and everything.
So you got your top
what was it?
two.
What was it again?
So you got your
I
top
know it
two.
Past
Pass. Or yeah, your all time favorite.
black.
Yeah,
wrestler.
and then who you currently like. Who are your favorite two, men's and women?
Okay. All right. Okay. All time. Mercedes Monet.
Okay. All time.
All time.
All time.
Mercedes
I like
Moné.
it. I like it. Okay. What about the men?
Yeah. In the past.
I think he froze on us. HB Prince, I'm gonna let you go while. No, wait a minute. Did
So
you
my-
back?
Okay. We're good. Okay. There we go.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. So I
Yeah.
heard we got Mercedes Moné all time
I'm good.
favorite woman. Who did you go with the men?
Okay.
I think it froze again.
Yeah, it's treating them bad. It's treating them bad.
Yeah,
HB Prince-
it's hard out here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I
HB
was
Prince.
gonna say, like, just from my childhood, I was a huge Farouk fan. So like,
I like.
I loved the Nation of Domination and that whole thing, and then D'Lo Brown being in there. Like, it's when you start saying your favorites, and then it's hard to overlook The Rock because of all of his success, and then how much he made me love wrestling that much more.
Yeah.
So when you say pick your favorite, it's like, man, that's
I know.
a tough one.
It's a tough one. But
To answer the question, I guess for me, I have to go. And then Booker T. I can't forget about Booker T. Like him and Harlem Heat, being able to watch WCW. Like, oh man, stuff. All right, I guess
sorry.
I would have
It's
to
my
say
fault.
Farouk just because I liked Farouk. I love the Nation of Domination. I loved, he was like one of the first people person of color that I saw like in a lead role like that. And so, and that wasn't like eating worms or just made to be less than human.
no shout at the
type of thing.
boogeyman.
Yeah, shout out to the boogeyman. I mean, he did his thing, but like it was just like this dude right here I can vibe with. I liked it. I love the Nation of Domination, so I had to say Farouk, even though it's hard to just say pick one, but my current one today, and that's even more tough. Like you start
Yeah, it
talking
doesn't get
about
any better, buddy.
Trick, and
Come on, bro.
you start talking about Trick, Worldwide Willie. You start talking about Oba, but I got to give it to the ruler. Right now, him and Trick are up there, but when to me, it's the ruler. It is Oba Femi, and that's my favorite. Black wrestler right now in the business. And Swerve Strickland. I can't forget about him either. Like it's, I don't know, man.
Can't get the
But
break.
Oba. Yeah,
Can't
Oba, man. Yeah, I have to go Oba.
So what about your female wrestlers on both sides? Do you got one for
So
those?
female, that one is
It's a
simple
little bit
because to
easier.
me, like, yeah, because to me, the first one and the only one, at least in the past, was Jackie for me. Like that was like the
True.
first black female that I saw like wrestling, you know. So it was for me, it was like, oh, Jackie, this is dope. You know, it was a black female. She looked like me, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, all right, that's that. And then if you talk about today, I guess I have to kind of side with him on, Mercedes Monet, Sasha Banks, how much I loved Sasha Banks. So yeah, I'd have to give her the nod. My girl Lash Legends is up there. So I love the bougie bully. So, but yeah, I have to go Sasha.
All right, Eric, what you got, brother? You had some time to think. You got some time to
Yeah,
think.
man. Yeah. So, yeah, it's crazy because I would say for me, it's like the all time for the men's would still, it'd be The Rock, bro. Like, it's like the thing with The Rock, man. Like, I think a lot of times as a kid growing up, that's somebody I always just the promos, how like, even when I was a kid, like, that's how I used to try to talk to, like, try to talk like. So I'm like, yeah, bro, The Rock was definitely one of those guys. But see, it was like The Rock. And then I feel like Booker T was up there too. Shelton Benjamin was a real big one for me as a kid too. Bobby Lashley was like another big one, but I'd have to probably still put The Rock for my all time. Um, for the women of all time, might sound crazy, but I'm gonna go with Bianca. I feel like with Bianca, I've
No, that's
watched
solid.
and there's nothing to go past my girl Jacqueline, not to go past my girl Jazz. Like I just when it was Bianca, like I watched her grow and I watched her all the way from the Mae Young Classic to now, and I'm just like I've watched it just become a star. Um, and it's crazy because it's like it's between her and Mercedes Monet because I watched the same thing with Mercedes Monet even when she left WWE and became what she is now, the CEO. But yeah, man, I'd have to say Bianca for my all time for my women's, The Rock for my all time men's for the up and coming. For the men, come on. I'll be capping if I didn't say Hollywood Trick, two brand trick,
That's
first class trick,
trick.
trick and nay,
That's
boy.
trick.
Trick Willie, man. Look, Trick
That's
been killing this
trick.
joint, bro. That's my guy. Of course, the young OG, been getting bouncy, the ruler, doing this thing. I think all three of those guys. And of course, Mello. I'll be capping if I ain't say Mello too.
Yeah, gotta get Mellow.
Mello's been doing this thing. Swerve's been doing this thing. The long lost cousin Kevin Knight been doing this thing too. I think all of these guys have been doing great in wrestling right now, and I'm proud of them all. Hell, even my man Brian Keith, the Bad Apple, love what he's doing too, man. That's my guy. But in all seriousness, though, I think wrestling and black hitting, like for black men in wrestling, I think they're doing. I think they're in great hands. I think we are. For the women, I'll be coming. I'll be Kevin if I didn't say Willow. Willow's my girl. Willow, I love what she's doing.
Willow is
Queen
a really good
Aminata.
choice, man. Willow's a
Yeah.
really good choice.
Yeah.
Willow's a really good choice. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that because
Yeah. Yeah.
Willow got this vibe. I don't know what it is. It's like I almost say girl next door because I mean there's different versions of girls next door, but she feels like the black girl next door. I don't
Yes.
know what it is about her.
Yes.
It's just like she would be like
She's
if
got
I
an
was.
aura.
If I was, I'm like I would have to shoot
Yes.
my shot. Like if we was in school, I'm like I got to do the best I can to show what I got here to let Willow know that I think you fly. You know what I'm saying? I gotta let you know. And her personality is just
Yeah.
through the roof. That's a good.
It is.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. Oh man. Okay. I guess I'll go. Oh boy. Let's see. Y'all already know. I'm not even gonna bull you on the favorite all time because y'all already know The Rock is my guy. I mean, to be honest with you, when I was growing up, I was 12, maybe 11 when The Rock first came out, and I just remember being like just wrapped into everything he does. The eyebrow. I dressed up like him on Halloween. We had like stuff at school, and we every opportunity I had a chance to get my fake $500 shirt that I got from Family Dollar that was like $5. Had the little style jacket, and I had the chain. I mean, look, the Rock. I mean, everything. Like just the swagger that The Rock brought through was what I want. I just felt like he was cool. He made wrestling cool. Obviously Stone Cold was the man. I'm not gonna sit there and act like he wasn't. But The Rock we said before on here, like he looked like me. He had this vibe. Well, he not look like me. He had blood like me, or pigmentation in there somewhere like me. But it was just he just made everything really cool, and I just was just over the top, And then a couple years ago at Mania, when I got a chance to see The Rock live, I'm gonna lie to you guys, like I literally almost like I had to catch myself from like tearing up. 38, 39-year-old me just sitting there, like he came out, they hit the music, and I was like, yo, this is cool. Like even though he wasn't wrestling, every bit of me was like, yo, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, and to be there for the famous promo and the slapping and all that. It was just everything was just great. And so for me, The Rock is my guy. But I would be wrong to fail to mention Booker T, because Booker T's like, if I had to do a 1A, he's right there. Like Booker T went from, what was it not Bro, what was it, Sergeant Bro or something like that. He had like a military name back in the day, and then he went from there to being a part of the Harlem Heat, becoming WCW champion, the five-time. Like when we talk about, as Eric like to say, when we talk about aura, we talk about what Booker T has been able to bring. Like, let's be honest with you. Like, if you looking at Trick Williams right now, there's a lot of Booker T rhythms going on with what Trick is doing. Not all of it, because some of it is Trick, but it's a beautiful combination, to be honest with you, of what we've seen from The Rock and what we've seen from Booker T. And it's like Trick took both of them and said, "Shawam." Yep. Like right there, just put them both together. And that's what I think I love. So I want to make sure that Booker T, gets his love, because I know we talked about it, but he's right up there. King Booker, like mean, King Booker was great. All of that.
King Booker.
And then I think I would say for my favorite female's really tough, because growing up it was really just Jackie and Jazz that I can remember. That's like growing up. It was Jackie and Jazz, and they had people like Shaliqua, not Shaliqua. What's the girl name that came from that was a part of
with the Basham brothers?
Yeah, with the Basham brothers. They had homegirl up there. Like it wasn't a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
I forgot all about it.
And it's crazy because like it's funny. Like I can't think, but to me, a lot of then you know what I mean. But I was one of them. I couldn't think. I know it started with an S. Y'all leave me alone. You take. Yeah, and then like I think like a lot of the wrestlers now, like there's so many black great wrestlers now, female wrestlers now. I would probably pick from this group, and I'm gonna give her love, but I'm gonna go Naomi. Naomi's my favorite because what Naomi's been able to do, in the switch up, here from even when she was the Glow. Like I remember my girls like fell in love with Naomi because of the glow and the energy she brought. And then for her to go into what she did this past year before she got pregnant, I want to give her love. I have to give Naomi some love on that end. And then female today, this is where it really gets tough, because I mean Naomi's technically active, but Miss Parker, baby, I'm going to give Miss Parker her love. She's probably my favorite one right now. She makes me smile when I probably shouldn't. But that's Jada Parker. So much love to her. And then my favorite right now, on the guy side, and it's so funny because I waited on the show I was going to do it either today or Friday and talk about that man Trick.
Come on, man.
I realized last night I was standing right here in the room, got the music playing, and next thing you know, like the thing popped up about his entrance, and I sat there and smiled. I said, I haven't had a real favorite wrestler since Bray Wyatt died. Like I usually pick somebody that's my person and I run with him. And if I had to be honest with you, right, BJ, I'm gonna bring it up in a second. That's a good one. I just I sat there and said to myself, like, wow, Trick's my guy. Like he is my favorite wrestler right now. So those are my guys. But BJ said a name. Too Cold Scorpio. Can we not show? Remember when Too Cold was walking down the street with the kids and he was dancing? It took like 12 years to get to school. I'm like, these kids supposed to be in school. And he's talking, come on, y'all, we walking.
I'm like, well, how long we walking for?
Let's gonna keep on walking. So I thought that was pretty
In my
cool.
school back there.
So where we going? We going this
Where
way.
are we taking these kids?
Yo, bro, it was crazy. They had a limo. It was like, nah, we gonna walk. So I thought that was cool, and so shout out to him. But there's so many great wrestlers, man.
It is. That was hard. That's hard to say. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
was
one.
good.
That's a good one. Well, fellas, look, Deidre, we want to thank you, man, for coming on. I know the technical difficulties been treating us like stepchildren today, but we do thank for those who stuck through with us the whole time. Y'all already know who we are and where to find us at and all that good stuff. So first of all, head on over. No, better yet, Eric, tell them what it is. I can't
Come
say
on.
it better than Eric. Go ahead, Eric. You got it.
And as always, make sure y'all follow all of our social media. I tell y'all this all the time. Y'all already know what to do. Facebook, we on that. X, we
What?
on that. Instagram, we on that.
What?
TikTok, on that as well. Appreciate the love and support y'all been giving. Hey, look, keep liking it up. Keep subscribing. Keep throwing in them contents, those comments. And we're going to keep giving you that content the exclusive way. Come on, man. Y'all already know what it is. Greatness.
Yes, yes.
Right there in the bag, right there.
You already know. You already know. But yes, once again, everybody, want to thank you all for tuning in for Xclusive Mind. And Dedrian, we appreciate you, brother, for coming on and bestowing us with all of this great knowledge in Black history, man. We truly appreciate it. Had to get this going, have to make this an annual thing. We'll see how that go next year. Definitely to bring you back on to talk some more Black history and introduce some more great Black wrestlers from our past. Fellas, I appreciate you all. This has been episode 4 of Xclusive Minds. We're going to be back on Friday because you know what? We got to talk Elimination Chamber. Oh, we're going to preview the Elimination Chamber on Friday at 7 p.m. Give our picks, who we think going to win, who going to WrestleMania, all that stuff. We're gonna can Finn actually win? I mean, we want. I'm sorry, HP. Can Finn actually win? That's all the stuff that we're gonna get into on Friday's episode of Xclusive Minds. And then don't forget, because on Saturday it ain't over yet. Because Saturday morning we're gonna go ahead and bring you back with our weekly review. So you make sure you tune in to that as well. And on Sunday, just in case y'all don't know, it's a night like no other birthday, ladies and gentlemen. Eric Knight is getting up there, baby. Eric, you don't have to tell your age if you don't want to tell them.
Oh man, no, it's okay. I'm 31, turning 31, man. Turning 31.
Turning 31. Well, look, once again, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. We truly appreciate it. And every week when we're on here, we try our best to show y'all that we are the best.
Yes, there is.
The best,
there was.
and the best
there ever
will be. And just to know, for all of y'all to know, your nights will never be the same. That's trick.
Y'all be good.
This is